Okay, continuing on with the solutions for the factoring quadratics assignment. So on number 16, all of these here are divisible by 4, so we can pull out a 4. And when we do that, you'll get 5x squared minus 42x, and then minus 27. And from here, then you can use our little trick here of multiplying these guys together, and that'll give you negative 135, and then you need to figure out what factors of those add up to be negative 42, and this is going to be, negative 45 and 3, and so now you can start making your binomials. You'll have x minus 45, and you'll have x plus 3, and we need to adjust for the 5 out front of our x squared part. So attempt to divide them both by 5. It works in the first one, giving you x minus 9, and in the second one it doesn't, so you pull out the 5 and put it in front of the x, and then the 4 is still going to come right in front. Don't forget about that. It is part of your factoring. But anyway, you'll get this. And moving on to 17. So on this one, let's see, 3 doesn't go into all those, and so we're actually out of things that can divide into those. Anyway, when you multiply these together, you're going to get, you'll get negative 144. And when you figure out what factors of that add to give you negative 70, so it's looking like we're going to have a fairly large number and then a fairly small one in comparison. And already looking at that, I'm looking at 72 if we divide them both by 2, and then negative 2, and that'll give you the difference of 70. So those are the factors we're going to use: b plus 72, and then b minus 2. These are 2's. And then when you address the 9 in front, so divide these both by 9, or attempt to do so, it works in the first one. It'll give you b plus 8. And in the second one it doesn't, so pull the 9 out front, 9b minus 2, and this answer's done. Moving on to 18. This one, again, all of them aren't divisible by 3, which are the factors of 9, so we really can't do any dividing right at the start. But we can multiply those together. You'll get a negative 252, which is kind of a big one, and trying to figure out what factors add up to give you 29. You have to do a little bit of experimenting, but eventually you'll get to 36 and negative 7. And so those are what we're going to write in here. So we'll have n plus 36, and then n minus 7. Sorry. And then when you address the 9 in front, so attempt to divide them both by 9, you'll get n plus 4, and then you'll have 9n minus 7 here. And that gives us our answer for 18. Moving on to 19, all of these are divisible by 2, so I'm going to pull a 2 out front. That'll give me 9n squared plus 9n plus 2. And now I can take the 9 and the 2 and multiply them together and figure out what factors of that add up to be 9. That's going to be 6 and 3. So my two polynomials are going to have n plus 6 and n plus 3. And now when you address the 9 in front, and attempt to divide them both by 9. So this one finally has a little bit different setup. You can reduce these fractions to give you 2/3 and 1/3. And now you can pull the denominator out front, and that'll give you 3n plus 2, and then 3n plus 1. And now we've factored that part, but don't forget about the 2 that we factored out right in the beginning, so we need to make sure the 2 is still out front. So there's that part. And moving on to 20. In this one, they again are not divisible by 3, so we gotta take the 9 and the 32 and times that together. See, 9 times 32 will give you 200, 288. And now you need to figure out what two factors of 288 combine to give you negative 36. They're looking like they both have to be negative, which means we'll have two factors that need to be added. And I'm just going to experiment for a little bit and try and figure out what they are. Okay, I got negative 12 and negative 24. And those add up to be negative 36. And so we'll get b minus 12, and then b minus 24. And we need to address the 9 in front, and again, attempt to divide them both by 9. And that'll give you, when you reduce it, b minus 4/3. And then b minus, what's that reduced? Divide them both by 3. You'll get 8/3 on this one. And then you can take the 3 on both of these and pull it out in front of the b. You'll get 3b minus 4, and then 3b minus 8. And now you're all factored out. Moving on to number 21. Unfortunately, all of these are not divisible by 2 or 4, so we're just going to have to multiply right away. 4 times the 63, which will give you 252. And we need to figure out factors of that add to give you 43. And they're both going to be positive, so give me a moment to kind of work through it and kind of figure it out. Alright, after much experimenting, we'll end up with 36 and 7. Those add up to be the 43 there, so we'll have x plus 36, and then x plus 7 for my second binomial there. And now when you address the 4 issue, attempt to divide them both by 4, it works. In the first one, giving you x plus 9. It doesn't in the second one, giving you 4x plus 7. You just pull the 4 out front. And ta-da, we factored them. And then moving on to number 22. These ones, they're not all divisible by 2 or 3, and so we're going to have to just multiply these right away. You'll get negative 300, and now we figure out what factors of that give you negative 5, which will give you negative 20 and positive 15. So we'll do p minus 20, and then p plus 15. That's a plus, I swear. And now when you address the 6 issue, so try to divide them both by 6. The first one does reduce a little bit. You'll divide them both by 2, which will give you 10/3. And then the other one also reduces a little bit. You'll divide them both by 3, which will give you 5/2. And now you can pull the 2 out front, pull the 3 out front, and you get 3p minus 10. And then 2p plus 5, and now we've factored it down. Moving on to number, what is this, 23, sorry. All these are not divisible by 3, so we're just going to start by multiplying these together. 7 times negative 70 is going to give you negative 630. Yes, negative 630. And when you figure out factors, that add up to be negative 9. So they're actually going to be fairly close together in comparison to 63. So give me a moment. Alright, and this one's going to give you 30 and 21. Those are 9 apart from each other. We want it to be negative when you add them, so we'll get negative 30 and positive 21. And for my two binomials, we'll have m minus 30. And then we'll have m plus 21. And now we need to address the 9 issues. So attempt to divide them both by, not 3, divide them by 9. And these ones are going to reduce. You'll get m minus 10/3. And then we'll have m plus 7/3. And move the 3 in front on both of these guys here. We'll get 3m minus 10. And then 3m plus 7, and now we've factored it out. And let's do one more. So on this one, I'm noticing that it's really close to being divisible by 3 or by 2, but this middle one kind of screws that up. So we can't divide anything right now, but we'll take the 6 and the 90 and multiply it together to give you 540. And we need to figure out what factors of that add up to be negative 47. So both of them are going to have to be negative. And give me a moment. And this one's going to give you negative 27 and 20. That's a 20, I promise. Anyway, so you'll get a minus 27, and you'll have a minus 20, and you need to try to address the 6 issues. So attempt to divide them both by 6, and they're going to reduce. You'll get a minus 9 halves. Divide them both by 3. And you'll have a minus 10 thirds. Move the 3 out front, move the 2 out front. You'll get 2a minus 9. This is a 9. And then you'll have 3a minus 10. And you'll have this for your answer. And yeah, we'll stop there.